Hello, welcome to Kubernetes Deployment Series Part 29. In this series, we are going to learn how to deploy microservices into AKS cluster using CD and keeping the Helm charts in Azure Container Registry. So in our previous lesson, we have already learned how to deploy microservices into the local cluster kind, and we kept the Helm charts in GitHub Container Registry. And the Docker image, the application images we kept in Docker Hub. But in this lab, we are going to keep the Helm charts in the Azure Container Registry and also the Docker images in Azure Container Registry. And we'll try to deploy the microservices using CD so that it will refer the Helm chart from the Azure Container Registry and using the Helm repository CRD. Okay, so before that, to proceed, let's first create the infrastructure. So for that, I have already logged into the Azure cloud here by using Azure login, and I have also run this infrastructure script that will create the Azure Container Registry and the AKS cluster. So if you can see in this infra folder here, I have this script that it will create a resource group, Azure Container Registry, and the AKS cluster. So if you can see, few minutes before I just run that command, and our Azure Container Registry and the AKS cluster are already provisioned. You can see this is my resource group, and under this, and this is our container registry, and under the repository there is nothing, images or the Helm charts are available. Okay, so next step, what we have to do, since we need to keep our Docker images in the Azure Container Registry, so for that what I have to do, I need to use this Docker command to build the Docker images, and I need to tag it with the using the Azure um, Container Registry with a tag, and then I need to push into the Azure Container Registry. Okay, so these steps I need to follow for each of these three services. If you see in my application folder, I have this order service, product service, and storefront service. Okay, let's do that. For that, what I have to do, because I have already built that Docker images, and also I have tagged it using this, just I have to push into the uh, Azure Container Registry. So let me just run this one. Okay, so the thing is I need to use this, export this variable. This is the name of my Azure Container Registry. Let me use this. Okay, now I can log into this also. I have already logged in before. Let's see. Yeah, it is now login success. So now I just want to push it into the Azure Container Registry. Next, I'll push this product service. It will take a couple of minutes to push the images to the Azure Container Registry. Let me start the prod one. Then I will push this storefront. So if you see this, this is for building the Docker images, and it will use this Docker file from this folder, R folder. Okay. Now let me do this. Now if we come to the Azure Container Registry and refresh it, you see all these three are just now pushed into the Azure Container Registry. Okay, so this part is done. Now I need to push the Helm chart as well into the Azure Container Registry, and CD. We will use the Helm repository, uh, ACR as the Helm repository. So the CD will refer the ACR, and it will monitor the Helm chart from the ACR itself, and if there is any version change or anything, then it will reconcile it and deploy into the cluster. Okay, so for that, in order to deploy the in order to push the Helm chart into the Azure Content Registry, we need to package it like this. You can see here. Uh, Here I'm using the folder multi Helm chart, and here under this I have the services. Okay, and I need to package it first. So let me package everything all together. So you can see here it is creating the packages, and you can see it is providing a version number here, and the version number yesterday I explained it is from the chat YAML. Okay, this 010 it is taking, and the name of the service whatever mentioned in this chat. Okay, so it is taking the name and the version and creating these packages. Next, what you have to do, you need to push into the Azure Content Registry. For that, this is the file name we are going to push. Okay, and this is our content registry. Okay, so uh, this ACR name is nothing that we are using the name. This is our ACR in the portal. Okay, so let me just push one by one and execute this all together, so it will push one by one. Now if we refresh it now, we can see. So what happens here, it is created a online store chart. Okay, under this I have all these services available. Okay, so if you can see here, I have mentioned online storefront store chart. Okay, under this these files are stored. Okay, so that's all. So we did some changes, and now um, in the ACR, our uh, Docker images as well as the Helm charts are available. And for that also, if we see in our services, if you go any one of these values.yaml, I have mentioned the path. It will refer from the Docker image. It will refer from the Azure Content Registry. But in our previous lesson, it was referring from the Docker Hub. Yeah, so that is the change here. Next, what we have to do, this is our build repository. So this repository basically used to create the Docker image, tag it, and push it to the content registry. And the other step is it also, we have the manifest file here. So this manifest file here, we can package it. Any changes we can do, and we can package it, and again we can push into the Azure Content Registry. So this repository is basically for the repository that stored our application, the manifest files, and the packages for our manifest file. Okay. We are going to use another repository, and that repository basically used for our deployment. And here we will create our FlogCD. Okay, so once in our cluster, we need to deploy the FlogCD, and that FlogCD is going to monitor this. It will create a clusters folder here, and under that uh, if we'll, okay, let's go to the bootstrapping first, so then I'll explain it. Okay, so you can see here, um, this is our bootstrapping. So this will create the um, flux, and it will deploy into under this flux system namespace. Okay, and it will create a folder here like cluster hi underscore clusters and dev. Under that a dev folder, we can put any name that is convenient. So we can put dev, test, and prod to, if you are going to deploy multiple environments, and then you can keep the name like that. So in order to do that, again here as a source of truth, I'm using GitHub. So this we need to use the username and repository. So here my repository name is uh, Kubernetes 29 deployment. So the Flux will going to monitor this repository and the GitHub token. Okay, so let me just create that, export those variable first. This is my variables here. Okay, next what I have to do is okay, before that I have to also um, I have to log into the cluster. Okay, so for that I need to, yeah, okay, so I need to do these things. Okay, I mean uh, I need to log into, in order to access the cluster, I have to use the AGX get credential. So Now I can, if you see, I can access, it will allow us to access to the cluster. If I type k get node, okay, so let me see. Now we are able to access. So this is our node in the cluster. So next what I have to do is I need to run, I have to bootstrap this. Okay, let me try this. So this bootstrapping will do three things here, as I have already explained in previous lesson. Here it will create a clusters folder, okay, and it will monitor this any manifest file that YAML file will put under this dev environment. It will monitor that. Okay, now let us sync to the branch. You can see, we can see here we have this flux system. Okay, under class cluster dev environment we have this flux system, and this one here it is pointing to the repository. Okay, that whatever we mentioned here, that is Kubernetes 29 deployment, and this is the path where it is going to monitor. Okay, clusters and dev. Now what we have to do is, like in our previous lesson we have created a Helm repository, and that Helm repository that we have taken is a GitHub content registry. But today we are going to create a Helm repository using ACR. Okay, so for that let's to go to this, and this is the file. Okay, I have already created it. Now let me just put it under this dev environment. Okay, so I have okay, it is cluster. We'll see, it is copied where. Yeah, okay, let it be, it got copied here, no problem. So you can see here, mm, if you come here and you can see the Helm repository. So what is this Helm repository? Basically it is the place where our Helm chart is available. Okay, so here the name I just given online storefront store repo, and this will be included in Flux system. Its type is OCI, and the path is my Azure container registry. Okay, and there is a folder online store chats. You can see here, this is online store chats. Under this I have all these chats available. Okay, and I have created a uh, secret here also. Okay, so that secret we need to create again here. Let me go to that. So if we see under this is my, I have done the bootstrapping here. Then I need to create this uh, secret. Okay, so for that what I have to do is, what I need to do is okay, so in this case since I need to create here, two things I need to do here. uh, Here I'm using Azure container registry as a Helm repository. So while using this Docker username and password, that we have to get it from the Azure container registry itself. Okay, so where we can get it, we can get I can show you here. Let me just use this. Okay, now using this I can get this username password. Okay, you can see here, this is the username and this is the password. Okay, you can use password one or two, any of these two. Okay, so these two things, right, we need to mention. So if we see, I have mentioned here, let me just check one more time here. What is, this is my password. Let me use this password here. Okay, so I just copied this password, and username is same, this, it is same only. Okay, and the container server, here it is. If we see, yeah, this is my container server here. Okay, yes, yeah, the full name you can provide here. Okay, now what I have to do is, let me create name here. Suppose I think this is already exists, so I'll just put one name. It's 10 now. Okay, let me create it. So it is created, and this is my secret name. Okay, so this secret name I need to provide in this. Okay, so that this is done. So now the flocks will monitor this Helm repository. Okay, so it will try to pull the Helm chart from the Azure Container Registry. Okay, now the other what we have to mention, the Helm release we have to create, because here we have 5 services, so I need to create 5 Helm release. So if we come to this folder here, we can see I have this config, order, product, rapid message queue, and storefront. Okay, let me just copy that to this place. So we need to copy in this place, because our flocks will monitor this clusters dev folder. Okay, so if we now come here and check what we are going to mention here, this is the Helm release. I have just given the name, and the namespace where it is going to deploy is default, and the release name I just mentioned the order, and the version number here what I have to mention is 010, because this Helm chart, right? What we mentioned in our chart, if you go to anyone this, you can see it is 010. Okay, anyone there, 010. So that we need to mention here. So the chart name is order, the chart name is order here. Okay, order, and this is our version. Okay, so that we need to mention, and where it will look, where it will get this chart, it will get from the Helm repository that we have created here. We have created here. Okay, and its name is online store repo, this name. Okay, so that name we are mentioning here, and namespace for block system, and it is same for all this. Whatever we have created, it is same. And as I told before also, we can add values here if we want to override anything, whatever they are. We have already, there is a values.yaml file in the Helm chart. Okay, suppose you want to override anything, then we can add that as here as a values parameter. Okay, if we are not mentioning here, as like in the order I have not mentioned, so it will take whatever the default value is there. Okay, now save it. So that's all. This is the change that we required, and let me one thing you do. Let me just make it one here. That's, okay, so after doing this, I think this copy folder, this is not required. We'll delete later. That doesn't matter. So yeah, this is the change. Then what we have to, let me just push it into the GitHub. Okay, let push it to GitHub, and then what we'll do, we'll just monitor it. If you want to see the log also, you can plugs log, logs. If you want to see if any error, right, it will show here. Okay, Helmchart, this is this. This is not an error. It was not reconciled. Okay, during that time, so it was giving this error. So yeah, if you now check flux logs, right, this is not there. It is the old past time, right? It is just showing this. Now it is reconciled, and you can get the pod. You can see here all these services are got created, and you can see here we have one order, two product, one rapid message queue, and two storefront. So these are getting created depending upon the values.yaml file that I have mentioned here. So if you see order values dot here, it is one. Okay, so order is one here. Order is one, and if you go product, per product it is 1, but we are overriding here. If we go to this product Helm release, you can see we have overridden here. Okay, and similarly, if we check storefront values, it is 1, but here it is storefront 2. That means it should be overridden here. Storefront. Okay, you can see here storefront is 2. So it is taking whatever replica is mentioned there. It is mm, deploying accordingly. Okay, now in order to check whether it is replicating or not, we can also can modify and we can test it. For example, what I'll do is uh, I can change these values here, Helm release values, and we can see for example storefront I'll make it 5. Okay, and just save it, and okay, let me save. It's not updating. Why it is not changing this value? Okay, just close and open it again. Let me open it again. My system is slow, that's why it is not able to track these changes. Yeah, now it is showing the change. Yeah, my system it is a bit slow. Still, it is. Okay, let me just update it. Okay, if we'll go to this, for example, and we'll get SPC. If we see this is our external IP, public IP, and if we want to browse it, the application should, we can view it. You can see this application, it is comes up. Okay, so now let's see. I just pushed it. Okay, now let me check one more time. Let me check. Is it created the pods? You can see here now storefront is 5. Okay, similarly, if you want to create a new version of our application, okay, and you need to change it, let me do that also. Suppose storefront, let me go there, index html, I'll change it to something like welcome. Okay, save it. Then what we have to do is we have to create the docker image, uh, push it into the Azure content registry. Okay, so for that let me, you can go here. Okay, we can, so anyway you can easily do, we can just create the docker image, again push into content registry, create a version, and also update this chat.yaml file here. Okay, you can add new version of this. Okay, and using that we can again create the um, package and push it into there. And after that you need to come here, and if you change this release, right, you have to mention the package here, whatever the new package you have added, right? For that, I mean Helmchart package, that you need to update. Okay, and also we need to change one more thing is the um, yeah, here if you can change the values in the values.yaml we can mention that image tag, I mean the Docker image tag, or you can modify it in the Helmchart itself. Okay, Helmchart itself you can modify and you can create the package. Okay, so this way you can do. So for, yeah, so I'm not going to explain that anyway. It is the same thing, similar way you can do it. Okay, so yeah, that's all today for today. So today we just learned how it is same as what we did in our previous lesson, but today we just did it in AKS, and we used SCR for keeping our Azure content register, keeping our Docker images and the Helm charts. Okay, and the Flux uh, got Flux used to pull the Docker, pull the Helm charts from the Azure Content Registry. So here our Helm repository that is pointing to the Azure Content Registry. Okay, and one more thing, just I have to mention here, while creating the secrets, right? We need to just use this because it is a bit different what we have done in previous lesson for the GitHub. Okay, GitHub Content Registry. So this secret we have created here, but in order to get the username and password, we have to use this ACR get credential. Okay, so you get, from getting that we have to mention here. So that changes we need to do. Okay, yeah, that's all for, I'll just mention it to for friends. Okay, so thank you so much for viewing the lesson, and please like the channel and subscribe it. We'll see in the next lesson as well. Till then, bye bye, thank you.